All right, welcome back. So we are here for round two of armor comparisons. This time we're doing light armors. Same rules as last time. We are only comparing armors that appeared in both versions of the game. We are not comparing stats, just style. Just which one looks better, which one looks more functional, and which one I liked better. So there are going to be 6 sets of armor that we're going to look at. I know you're probably racking your brain. What do you mean 6 sets of armor? What could the 6 be? Let's get started. You'll see. We're going to have some fun. All right. So first up, we got fur armor. Now, fur armor, I think they both look good. I'll be honest. In their own way, each one kind of evokes a different vibe, a different feeling. I think the one in Skyrim looks more rustic, more, for lack of a better term, raw. This looks like some guy who just lives out in the woods and made his own clothes. Looks like it keeps him warm. Looks like it gives him some degree of protection. Like he just skinned some animals and stitched the hides together, you know? Whereas the one from Oblivion, while it does look really cool, it looks more put together, more developed. Like I could see the one from Skyrim. This is just some dude who lives by himself in the forest with nothing but, you know, a knife and a bow. And the guy on the right, he looks like he might be part of a tribe or something. Maybe a nomadic tribe. Maybe they've got a settlement up in the mountains. It looks more put together. It looks like more time was put into it. There's more stitching. There's more rivets. It's more developed, you know? And the helmet, I mean, it's not just a hide draped over his head to keep the rain off of his hair. It's an actual helmet. And when I go for hide armor, I'm not going for protection. It's the lowest armor in the game. When you grab that armor, I can't even say when you just walked out of the sewers, because by the time you get out of the sewers, you've already got a full set of iron armor. So you've already got something better. The only time I've ever worn either one of these armors is when I wanted to wear it for the look. And when I'm wearing this armor, I'm trying to go for a more caveman, barbarian, rustic, living on the wilderness, living off the land kind of vibe. And I feel like the Skyrim one evokes that, whereas the one on the right, this guy, it might not be my society, but he comes from a society. Dude's got a belt. He's got bracers. You know, he's got hardened leather on that helm, on the skull cap of the helm. This is a society. This guy's got actual boots, not just moccasins that were roughly stitched together from a skinned bear or something. This guy has people that he hangs with. And there's also something on the Oblivion one that I personally, it kind of puts me off. And it's like the major, if there was a tie here, it would be the tiebreaker in detriment to Oblivion. And that is the hands. I don't like those claws coming over your hands. It just looks weird to me. It looks like something that you would put on there that has no real functional purpose. It's just put there as a cosmetic thing. You know, like when you put, like serrations on a katana or something, you know, like when you go and see some sword at the mall that looks ridiculous and it has all these flourishes and curls and stuff. And it's like, yeah, it looks cool, but it actually makes the weapon weaker. If I were to try to punch somebody wearing those claws, they'd probably dig into my own knuckles more than they would dig into the other guy. And I just don't, they just look weird. I just don't like them, you know? So, for that reason, I gotta go with the Skyrim one. It's just, it kind of nails the vibe better. Oh boy. Okay. So, I'm gonna say right off the bat, I like from the ground to the shoulders. I like the Oblivion armor better. It actually almost looks like Thieves Guild armor, which I think was the original vision, because there is no Thieves Guild armor in Oblivion. Skyrim has a separate set of armor for the Thieves Guild that very closely resembles the Oblivion leather armor. And I like that. I like the Thieves Guild armor in Skyrim as much as I like this one. They're very similar. But the helmet, it looks like this guy's playing football in 1924. It doesn't look like, it looks so goofy. The one from Skyrim isn't much better, but it at least looks like a helmet. But that's the only good thing I have to say about the armor from Skyrim, is the helmet is better. Because from the chin down, it is just a train wreck. I do not like this armor. I've never liked this armor. If I was doing a light armor build, I would wear fur until I found Elven. I would just skip leather. I'd find leather and I'd skip it because I don't like this look. This isn't armor. It's like, oh, well, maybe it's for flexibility. He's like, you could still wear pants under it. Your knees are exposed. Wear pants. Aren't you cold? And don't get me wrong. I don't, it's, you know, it's 2025 current year argument. Scottish warriors wore kilts. I don't care about the fact that it's a skirt, because even on female characters, it still looks ridiculous. It's not like, oh, it's a guy in a skirt. Even if it was a woman, still looks bad. Delphine in the leather armor looks ridiculous. It's an ugly armor. I can't stand it. I can't look at it. The bracers are fine. The boots are fine. And I like the helm. But that armor just kills it for me. It's so goofy looking. So I gotta go Oblivion, just because of that. I hated the leather armor in Skyrim. I gotta go Oblivion. Now we're getting into the big guns here. We're talking about Elven Armor. This one is a little bit closer. Again, until you get to the helmets. As far as the body goes, I do prefer the armor from Skyrim more. I think that the armor from Oblivion is definitely more evocative of Aelid armor, which makes sense because the Aelids were more prominent in Cyrodiil than they ever were in Skyrim. So it makes sense that you wouldn't really see a lot of Aelid influence in Skyrim. But that helmet, it just, and again, it screams Aelid helmet. And those goofy wings, they look like bushy eyebrows. It's just, I'm sorry, no, I can't get past that helmet in Oblivion. The one in Skyrim, I like it better. It's more protective. You know, you don't have this high, huge arc over the eyes. The hole where the face is tighter in and closed in. It's protecting more of the face. For that reason, I gotta go Skyrim on this one. Okay, so now we're talking about glass armor. And let me tell you guys right now, this armor right here is the reason why I wanted to make this video. Because I got feelings. I got stuff to say about this armor right here. And I feel like this one might be the one, this one and maybe the next one after it, might be the two that kind of divide people. But I gotta say up front, the glass armor from Oblivion is so much better. Entirely because there's no gold in it. I don't like the gold that is all over the glass armor in Skyrim. I like the helmet better. Because, again, you look like you're, it looks like this helmet is weird. I like it. It's okay. And it's got the whole tall helmet thing again that's common in Oblivion, but at least it's just a spike on the front. That's it. But it's kind of weird looking. I don't know what's going on with this helmet. You know, it looks almost like the Shredder. I don't know. But just like the shoulders, the gauntlets, the knee pads, the boots. This looks like real armor. The one from Skyrim, it doesn't look like functional armor. It looks like ceremonial armor. Like you'd wear this to a coronation, not a battle. And the color of the green as well got better. You had this pale, faded, like minty green in Skyrim, whereas in Oblivion, you've got this brilliant, just like deep, bright green, this emerald green color. And don't think I didn't notice that they put an Xbox logo on the stomach. I can see that Xbox logo down there. They had, yeah, we're owned by Microsoft now. We're part of the team. So they made it more of an Xbox green. They put the logo, they snuck the logo in there. It looks like a Power Ranger morpher. But I mean, overall, just head to toe, I love this armor. This is probably one of my favorite armors in the whole series. So yeah, I gotta go Oblivion in this one. To me, it's no contest. We had a faction armor in the heavy with the blades. We got a faction armor here as well in the Dark Brotherhood, the Shrouded Armor. Now, I'm going to say up front that I think both of these armors are at the very least the coolest looking light armor in both games, if not outright the coolest armor in both games. They both look super cool, super badass. But that says more about Oblivion because Oblivion's got a lot more good armors than Skyrim does. I know I've kind of been 50-50, but especially when you talk about light armors, it's better than the glass armor in Oblivion. That's when you say that the Skyrim Shrouded Armor is better than the Skyrim glass armor, that's not as much of a flex as saying that something's better than the Oblivion glass armor, in my opinion. And I also like the fact that, maybe some people don't like the Shrouded Armor in Oblivion. It's all one piece. So all you've got is the body and the helmet. Whereas in Skyrim, it's 4 pieces. Yes, that allows for more enchantments and more customization. But from a functionality standpoint, if you're an assassin, you're either doing, sneaky stabbity death, which means you're doing like a bajillion times damage, so you don't really need a lot of buffs. In Oblivion, you're doing, 8 or 9 times damage? And in Skyrim, you're doing, if you build it correctly, like 90 times damage on a dagger that does 1,000,000 damage. So you don't really need a lot of enchantments when you're going with that build. And if you're doing Stealth Archer, more so. Because in both games, if you're doing Stealth Archer, you're 1 or 2 shotting everything. It just doesn't even matter. So enchantments are not super important when you're doing a Brotherhood build. It's really more about the vibes. And when it comes down to it, I like the one from Oblivion more. The one from Skyrim is good. I don't want to say it looks bad, but the one from Oblivion is better. I got to go with Oblivion on this one. For our last armor, it's not a full armor set. We are looking at Guard Armor. And I wanted to do this one, even though neither one is a complete set, because I actually do have thoughts on this as well. Now, when you think about Guard Armor, it's not going to be the best armor in the game, right? We know that it's not even as good as Elven Armor. But that's not the purpose of this armor. Now, I don't know if, for those of you who have seen movies where part of the movie takes place on a military base, you'll see these guys who, when something goes down and they call a security alert or an alarm goes off, these guys will show up. They'll be wearing army uniforms, but they'll have maybe white helmets or blue helmets, and they'll, instead of a rank insignia on their arm, they'll have a patch on their arm that says MP. And the reason why they do this is because in the military, when you are working as a military police, which is what MP stands for, it is a duty position, right? It's not that's not your job. That's just the assignment you have for the day. You might be a guy who fixes guns. You might be a guy who, fixes computers. You might be a cook. You might be, a guy who paints stuff. But when you're on watch, you're an MP. So your other job doesn't matter. And your rank also doesn't matter. Your rank becomes police. And that's why they wear the patches on their arms. It covers up their rank because your rank doesn't matter. At that time, you're not a soldier, you're not a sailor, you're a cop. And I feel like in the universe of Skyrim, the way that is represented is by wearing a helmet that covers your face. Because we know, in Skyrim in particular, at the time that we're there, there's a lot of racial tension. We see in Winterhold how there are guys who are Nords discriminating against elves. We know that there are people who discriminate against Khajiit. In the Reach, we know that there are people who discriminate against the Reachmen, who later go on to become the Forsworn. So there's a lot of racial tensions in a lot of different directions. It's a very complicated dynamic. And the easiest way to alleviate that and say, listen, it doesn't matter what race or what species I am. Right now I'm a cop. And that's to cover their face. So you can't look at their face and go, you're just a Breton. Screw you. What do you know? And so for me, the one that most effectively fulfills the function of a uniform that says, hey, I'm a cop, is the one from Skyrim. Because it removes that line of discrimination. All they can tell is that you're a cop. You're the authority, and you're to be respected. And so, for me, that is better represented in Skyrim. The more functional armor, I think the one that looks more protective is the one from Oblivion. But like I said, I don't think when you're a guard, the primary objective is protection. I mean, you look at modern police officers, yeah, they wear vests. But overall, like, they don't wear helmets. Their sleeves are exposed. Their legs are exposed. The vest doesn't even really cover all of their chest, just like the center mass, you know? Relatively speaking, cops don't have a whole lot of protection when they're on the job, like physical protection. So, but it's more about wearing a uniform and representing your precinct or your district, your hold, your city, whatever authoritative region that you're representing. That's what it's about. It's about representing your region. So while I say that, yes, the one from Oblivion looks more protective, the one from Skyrim, because oftentimes they'll just wear fur or hide, gauntlets and boots or bracers. You know, sometimes they'll wear leather, which it's more about mobility. And yes, the ones from Oblivion also have a couple options, but most of the time I see them wearing chainmail, which doesn't even exist in Skyrim. But chainmail is going to be heavier than leather. It's going to be heavier than hide. And that, combined with the fact that this armor has pauldrons and the Skyrim one doesn't, he's just going to move slower. And when you're trying to enforce the law, you don't want an extra 20 pounds or 30 pounds of steel hanging off your body, slowing you down when you're trying to catch somebody who stole a sweet roll. Like, you want to catch that sweet roll thief. So you want to be wearing hide. You want to be wearing leather, something that's light, something that's flexible, something you can move in, that's got arch support, that gives you more speed, that's lighter. And so overall, I think in general, from a functionality standpoint, the Skyrim armor is just better. And, you know, for the other reasons that I've listed, it just represents law enforcement better. He looks more officer-like, more cop-like, functionality-wise. So I got to go with the one from Skyrim, because just for all the reasons I just laid out, overall, the one from Skyrim is just better. All right, so that is my analysis of the light armors. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. If you agree, if you disagree, if I missed something, if you think I had a hot take, maybe on the glass armor or the Dark Brotherhood armor, let me know what you think. And thanks for checking out my channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.